What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Your Real NBA video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the NBA draft. I'm going to be making my annual NBA mock draft. So basically, I'm going over the top 10 picks in the draft, and I'm going to be telling you who I think the teams are going to select with their pick in the draft. Before you guys watch, please like and subscribe. So with the first overall pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves got lucky, and now they have the first overall selection in the 2020 NBA draft. And this is a really tough selection because, you know, usually with the first pick, the pick is being made by a team that's going to be pretty bad the next couple of years. But the Timberwolves, they might be playoff contenders in like 1 or 2 years. So this selection could be traded to get more assets to possibly make a playoff run next year. I wouldn't be surprised if the Timberwolves traded down in the draft to get someone like Onyeka Okongwu, because Onyeka Okongwu is a really good center and he's a really good defensive player. And the Timberwolves, they probably need a little more defense on their squad. They probably need a little more shot blocking. They need a center who can bring some defensive presence in the paint, because Cat, I mean, he's been getting better on the defensive end, but he's still not, a top tier defender. So, Onyeka Okongwu can bring some paint presence on the defensive end for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I could definitely see the Timberwolves trading the pick down and then, select Onyeka Okongwu. But assuming that they do stay in the #1 overall selection spot, I think they'll probably select Anthony Edwards. Because Anthony Edwards, he is probably either the first or second best player in this draft, in my opinion. He's a good defensive player, and like I said, the Timberwolves can use some more defense. D'Angelo Russell, not that great on the defensive end. Malik Beasley, not too great. Cat, not elite on the defensive end. And, they do got guys like Okogie and all these other players who are pretty good on the defensive end, but I think that they need more defense, and I think they select Anthony Edwards, who will also bring some scoring to the table. It does get kind of confusing because the Timberwolves, they already got a lot of guards on their squad. I don't know how it would work out, but I think they just select Anthony Edwards with the #1 overall pick. And now the Golden State Warriors. Yes, you heard that right. The Warriors got the 2nd overall pick, while only being 2 years removed from the NBA championship run that they went on. I will give it a 60 or 70% chance that the Warriors trade this pick away to a different team. Assuming that they keep the pick, I think they select James Wiseman, because James Wiseman, he's a really good athletic big man who can bring some scoring, and he can, just bring a lot to the team. He has great physical tools. He has a 7'6" wingspan. He has great feet. He has a lot of agility. He has solid leaping abilities, and he just has a lot of potential to become a really good center in the NBA. And the Warriors, the main reason why I don't think they select LaMelo or anybody else like that is because, as you all know, the guard position for the Warriors is locked up by Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson and all these other great guards that they have on their team. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for #2. Let's get on to #3 pick. So the 3rd overall pick is held by the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets have the 3rd overall pick, and this is a really tough selection in my opinion, because this is just really hard to predict, because you would think that the Hornets would just select LaMelo Ball, no doubt about it. You don't even have to think about it. But then you look at their roster, they have guys like Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, and all these other guards. Adding another guard on top of that, there's going to be a lot of complications and all this stuff. Like, they were already playing Devontae Graham off the bench because they already had Terry Rozier in the starting lineup. But with Malik Monk gone, maybe they'll open up some room for LaMelo to play at the guard position starting. It's kind of going to be confusing if they do select LaMelo Ball, because Devontae Graham has become a really good player, and Terry Rozier also wants to prove what he can do in the NBA. So they're going to both want their touches, but then LaMelo Ball is going to want his touches. and then it's just going to be this whole crazy thing with the Hornets if they do select LaMelo Ball. But in saying all of this, it would be hard for the Hornets to pass on potentially the second best player in the draft just because they already have guards. I'm all for selecting the best available player, like unless you're a contending team. Like obviously the Warriors, the reason why I don't think they select LaMelo Ball, even though I think he's the second best player in the draft, is because they're contenders, and the Warriors, they're just a really good team, and I don't think they really have time to develop a young player like LaMelo. The Hornets are not going to be contending anytime soon, and they have a lot of time. Let a guard like LaMelo Ball become a good player in the NBA. Have a couple of years to build a team around him and stuff like that. And like I said, I know they do have they already have a lot of guards, but I think they just select LaMelo Ball because he's a really good prospect. He has a potential to be a really good player in the NBA. And even though they do have point guards, I just think that it would be really weird for them to pass on the number 2 prospect. And there's already been a lot of other teams that passed on good players in the draft just because they already had the positions locked down and then they regretted that. So I don't think that the Hornets will pass on LaMelo Ball. Alright, so the 4th pick in the draft is held by the Chicago Bulls. And I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, so I already made a video about, who I think the Bulls are going to select. So I'll link that video in the description. But in short, I think the Bulls will select Denny Avdija because I think the Bulls are going to be trying to make the playoffs next year. And I think that Denny can contribute for the Bulls right away when he gets there. He's really good when it comes to passing the ball, and he's unselfish. He has nice court vision. He's great at finding the open man, especially in the fast break. And with the Bulls being a young team with young guys like Zach LaVine, Kobe White, and Wendell Carter Jr., Larry Markin, and all those guys, all of them being young and can run, there's bound to be a lot of fast break opportunities. And with Denny Avdija being a good fast break passer and being really good in the fast break, I think that he'll fit in well with the Bulls. Also, the Bulls might be able to slot Denny Avdija at the small forward position, which is their biggest need as of right now, because right now they have Otto Porter Jr. at the starting small forward position, and then they have Chandler Hutchison off the bench, but both of them have a lot of injuries. All in all, I personally think that Denny Avdija is the perfect fit for the Bulls right now. So let's go on to the next pick. So with the Cavs, they have a lot of guards on their squad that they're trying to develop right now. So I don't think they'll select a guard like Killian Hayes or Isaac Okoro or anyone like that. I think they need more of a big man presence. They already have Kevin Love, Drummond, and Tristan Thompson, but I don't think they're going to be on the team long term. So I think it's between Obi Toppin or Onyeka Okongwu, and I think they'll select Obi Toppin because Toppin showed a lot of potential in college, and he will bring a lot of scoring presence in the paint for the Cavs, and he might develop into a cornerstone piece on their roster next to Collins, Sexton, and Darius Garland. Next, we got the Hawks. The Hawks are in need of some more defense next to Trae Young scoring, and it's a toss-up for me between Onyeka Okongwu again and Isaac Okoro because they both have defensive potential in the NBA, and both of those prospects are in similar spots in mock drafts. But I think they might go with Okoro because they already have Capella and Collins locked up at the small forward and center position for the Hawks, and I think Okoro would have a better chance to make the starting lineup for them, and he'll bring some much needed defense next to Trae Young. And I think a combination of Reddish, Okoro, Capella, Collins, and Hunter would be a great defensive lineup next to Trae Young. Also, I think Okoro could be a great player off the bench if they do want to have him as a bench piece instead of a starting lineup piece. With the 7th overall pick, I think the Pistons will select Onyeka Okongwu for his defense in the paint, and also he has some potential to be a scorer in the NBA. The Pistons are looking to get some bright young players on their team right now, and Okongwu is just that. He's a young piece who has a lot of potential to become a really good NBA player, and I think that he'll just be a really good fit on that team. So with the 8th overall pick, I think the Knicks just go best available, which is Killian Hayes for me right now. Killian Hayes would bring some much needed playmaking for the Knicks. He'll be able to get some open looks for the team, and he will also fit well with the team in my opinion. They need some more guards who can, pass the ball, play make, be pretty decent on the offensive end, and set up guys like RJ Barrett, and like I said, they just go best available and select the player that they think is the best. So with the 9th pick, I think the Wizards select Denny Vassell, who is a good prospect. He might need some years to develop, but I think the Wizards select him because they have a lot of question marks in the air with the team right now. You know, they have a lot of question marks, so whether or not John Wall is going to return to his old self, whether or not some of their other young players are going to develop correctly, and all this other stuff. So I think they just select Denny Vassell so that they can have a player who has a high upside and a high ceiling in the NBA, in my opinion. Finally, with the 10th pick, I think the Suns select Tyrese Halliburton. He can bring some playmaking and scoring at the point guard position next to Booker. He has a lot of potential, and I think he fits the Suns great. And hopefully they can build off of that 8-0 bubble record. So yeah, that's all I really had to say in this video. This is my top 10 mock draft video. This is just my opinion. Obviously, there's going to be some different opinions. So if you have a different opinion, comment down below what you think. But yeah, that's going to be all for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.